Okay, that was Nickelback and Rockstar, and listening to the DVDfever Show, and now I've got a review of The Last Stand, which is out at the cinema now. He's back, cried the publicity, as Arnold Schwarzenegger returned to the big screen for his first major film lead since a flop which no one went to see, Collateral Damage, after it was inadvertently delayed when due for release in late 2001, but was put on the back burner for a few months after the events of 9/11, because the premise involves his family being killed in a terrorist act that involves an explosion. Whoops! And I'm sure the original poster showed him looking out the corner of his eye at a tall building, which had something flying into it, but I can't find that poster now. So, after coming back to the fore with a gun-toting scene or three in The Expendables 2, and let's forget the brief cameo in the prequel where he barely bothered to show his face, what he needed was a film to lead where he'd be able to crack wise while blasting the bad guys into next week. Alas, The Last Stand isn't really it. He plays Sheriff Ray Owens, an old cop content to live in sleepy Somerton Junction, where the biggest problem to deal with is the fact that farmer Harry Dean Stanton hasn't delivered that day's milk to the local diner. Ooh. However, things are about to change when America's most wanted drug kingpin, Gabriel Cortez, Eduardo Noriega, is taking a diversion through his location in his 200-mile-an-hour supercharged mother of a car with a view to escaping across the border into Mexico. The hype machine swung into place for this movie big time, but it's an action movie by numbers, as we learn Ray chose a life of a cop that makes Heartbeat look action-packed because of something that happened back in Los Angeles, an event I can't even remember because it was that uninteresting. But it's still a place that draws his deputy, Jerry, Zach Gilford, who longs for excitement and asks for Ray's help to get him a job there. Anyway, back to the plot, and what you have here is 107 minutes that passes by reasonably fine with a few one-liners here and there, but bear in mind that there's absolutely nothing you don't expect. And basically, it's exactly what you would expect from an Arnie film many years after his best. On the plus side, there's some engaging use of the full widescreen frame from director Jee-woon Kim, whose films I've never seen before, but amusingly devilish performances from Eduardo Noriega as the main baddie, and the ever-reliable Peter Stormare as secondary baddie Burrell. There's a few laughs provided by cop colleague Louis Guzman as Mike Figgy Figueroa, and Johnny Knoxville as Louis Dinkum, who's not in it as much as the poster would appear to suggest, but whose character primarily exists to provide the weaponry for Arnie and co. with which to dispense to the enemy. The cast is rounded out nicely with female cop Sarah, Jamie Alexander, her ex-boyfriend Sam, Matthew Greer, who we first see locked up in their cell for some reason I can't remember, and Forrest Whitaker just phoning it in as Agent John Bannister, supposedly hot on the trail of Cortez. But like other characters in this film, he just disappears off screen for large portions of time, and you never miss the fact that he's gone. So overall, The Last Stand makes for a passable piece of entertainment, and with some decent blood-spurting violence, something often lacking in an era dominated by child-friendly 12A movies, albeit this is far from the first thing you must see at the cinema. However, I do have to question why, when Cortez wants to get across the border to Mexico, how come the link between Somerton Junction and Mexico is an open, unattended bridge? And also well-maintained, clearly. I've never been to the Mexican border, but all films I've seen prior to this show it as a fortified fence that spans a fair distance, often patrolled by police. Hey-ho. So overall, give that one a 6 out of 10. Okay, so before the top 10 movie charts, we're going to have a bit of music, and this is a request from Karina O'Donoghue from Durham. It's Vampire Weekend with Holiday.